I got the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. Chip's Enuff with me today. Chip has been on the show a couple times, and it's always great to have him. He's been keeping the Enuff Z'Nuff motor running for what 37 years now, and band's released a 3 CD set of unreleased demos earlier this year called Never Enough, and now they're back again to release a Beatles-related cover album called Hardrock Nite, and that comes out November 12th. Chip, you're busy as hell, man.
I'm a modern day miracle. I tell you right now, whoever thought anybody be putting out in the old days, it wasn't uncommon for groups to put out a couple records a year. Mm-hmm. For us, because we did a whole deal with Cleopatra Records on our catalog. All that stuff is underneath one umbrella now, and that all is being released at the same time. So you got a 3 double record set, a box set, which is called Rarities and Demos, 40 songs. And now here we are putting out our brand new record with the band as we are now, how we've been for the last 8 years, which is called Hardrock Nite. And it might be we may be the first group in history to put out a Beatle record. I don't think anybody's done it. I know a lot of groups out there have covered Beatles songs. I know that Cheap Trick has done some Beatles in their through their illustrious history. Mm-hmm. Stone Temple Pilots covered Revolution. I know that. Styx recorded a Beatles song for one of their records as well. Right. I'm not so sure anybody's taken the endeavor of going through the catalog of Beatles stuff from 67 on and put it all out on one disc. I think I might be, not to sound unmodest, we might be the first. I'm not sure if it's the smartest move, but listen, you can't go wrong with Beatles songs.
Absolutely.
And I think this is a juggernaut of a record right here. And the label Frontiers is super happy with it. And more importantly, the fans, people that love Beatles songs, which the Beatles just released Let It Be recently, they're going to be pleasantly surprised when they hear all these songs done in a different way, where the lyrics aren't changing or the arrangements mostly, but the songs played super aggressively, through Mesa Boogie and Marshall amplifiers, big drums, big bass guitar, and it sounds like a live band in the studio. I'm pretty excited about it, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I always listen to the records and hear that Enuff Z'Nuff live sound. You mentioned, playing in the studio. I know you like to do it old school and, the whole 2-inch tape and, playing live and everything. That's more difficult nowadays. How did you record this one?
Well, you better get it right when you're recording on analog 2-inch. There's no room for error right there. And obviously Pro Tools is much quicker, but I like the old fashioned way personally. On this record, we just took the approach of everybody playing in the studio. And we, of course, Tori Stoffregan, my fabulous guitar player, his new name is now Tori Harrison Stoffregan, because he loves George Harrison. That sly guitar playing is incendiary. But on approach, we just played the record, all of us, Dan and I in the studio here in Chicago with Tony Fennell, our guitar player / producer. And we just bashed these songs out. We started off with Shave Fish. We went to the John Lennon solo stuff. That was the first track we recorded, which was Cold Turkey. And from there, we just navigated through the catalog from 67 on of nothing but Beatles songs that were played very aggressively. Went to the White Album and picked up back in the USSR the first track and did Dear Prudence, which is a song that's been a staple in Enuff Z'Nuff sets through our history, and just went around and Magical Mystery Tour, first track right there on the album. We just navigated very carefully and picked songs that we thought if we rock these ones out, we could have a juggernaut of a record. They even went in there and did the old Beatles / Guns N' Roses Live and Let Die. Quite a challenge right there, but you listen to the tracks and you hear great performances, most notably. And I wanted to make sure when we put this record out that it sounded like an Enuff Z'Nuff album and that we could reproduce the songs live in concert. That's real important because we're taking this on the road. We're going to play shows all around the country doing not only the Enuff Z'Nuff, but the Beatles rock show as well.
Oh, that's cool. That's great to hear because yeah, we've always heard like a Beatles tune here and there in the Enuff Z'Nuff set, and we know how influenced you guys are by the Beatles. To hear a big set of Beatles tunes will be great, man.
The sum is bigger than the parts when it comes to these kind of songs.
Yeah.
They're timeless beyond belief. We just did a show recently in Denver, Colorado, and we played the Beatles. We call it the Beatles Rock Show. And we did a whole set, nothing but Beatles. Although at the end of the night, the promoter asked if he could hear a couple of those singles. So we did Fly Michelle and New Thing and Baby Loves You. But for the most part, the whole show was focused on Beatles songs. And we don't dress like the Beatles. We're not looking like that. Obviously, we're not as handsome as those gentlemen are. But we came out with a strong rock show. And I've seen people in the crowd, they were crying. These songs just touch you in a certain way. And people remember the first time they fell in love, first time they heard the Beatles, first time they got high. It just brings back so many great memories. And to hear these songs played like picture Stone Temple Pilots and Cheap Trick fighting in an alley, that's this record right now. It's a strong, straight ahead hard rock record of some of the greatest songs ever written by the Beatles.
Yeah, I would agree, man. And that's a great analogy. And I'm listening to the record and I see Dear Prudence coming up, and that's a really nice, easygoing song. I'm like, I wonder what this is gonna sound like from you guys. And it's still a pleasant, sweet song, but it has that grit in the back. It has that fuzz that makes it Enuff Z'Nuff, and that's so cool.
Yeah, well, when we did the record, we recorded most of it here where I'm talking to you from, a little town I live in called Blue Island, Illinois, small little towns where Moses left his sandals. And we took that and we did some stuff over at T-Ray Studio, Tony Fennell's place out in Massachusetts. And then I had Tori playing a lot of his guitars because there was a lot of restrictions and mandates flying all over the place. So he did a lot of his guitars over in Scituate, Massachusetts, as his home recording studio. And then we went over to a place called Stonecutters here in Chicago with a fabulous producer engineer. His name is Chris Steinmans. He's responsible for Kiss Revenge, did a bunch of stuff with Alice Cooper, did a bunch of Ozzy records. This guy's incredible. And he loved the approach. And what we did on the record was, playing live and straight ahead. And he had all the analog plugins. And we just went in there and mixed the record. It took about 2 weeks to mix it. When we were finished, blown away, Big Pretty, and engineer Chris ended up playing the whole Beatle record in its entirety, Hardrock Nite. And there was maybe 70 or 80 people that were at this movie get together, and they were absolutely blown away by it. And I said, I think we got something special. I didn't know any of these people, by the way, that were at the premiere of the movie. Okay. I was just there as to lend some love there and some support. And the songs, like I said earlier, the sum is bigger than the parts. These songs are iconic. It's a great hard rock record. I didn't think Frontiers would be interested in doing a cover record, but then again, no one's ever taken the challenge of recording the whole Beatle record in its entirety. And I really believe at the end of the day, not only did we nail making the record, but a lot of eyes and ears on this. There, people want to hear what this is all about. I'm real excited about what the future holds. I think we could take this show on the road and not only do Enuff Z'Nuff shows, but we can do the Beatle record in its entirety as well. And maybe there's more stuff that can follow on the pipeline. But right now, it's one thing at a time. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's Hard Rock Night. It's 10 songs. It's all Beatles stuff. It features John Lennon solo, Paul McCartney solo. Mm-hmm. Ringo got a little help from my friends on the track. Of course, we took the version, the Joe Cocker approach on it because we love blues. It's very soulful. And, back in the old days, the Beatles, they were really into the blues. They loved Paul Butterfield and Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and Buddy Guy. And they pulled a lot of inspiration from Chicago. So it's only fitting to start the record off in the right way with, doing a John Lennon song, Cold Turkey, because that's the epitome of the blues right there.
Oh, yeah. It's so great too, man. It's just such a sharp the way you guys recorded it's so cool. That's got to be heard. It's a really great riff there, and it's just so cool. You're about you're less than an hour away from me. I'm in Naperville, so
Naperville, lovely little town, a lot of promiscuity out there, I'll tell you that. I've always loved. I think we played Naperville Naperville Fest years and years ago. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses came up and played with us. It was great. Probably 15, 20 years ago, and then they never call us back again. So maybe it was the pot smoke that might have scared away the promoters and the agents, because they're pretty milk and cookies out there. But I've always loved
Yeah.
Naperville. Wonderful city.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. I've been here a little while, and I saw you used to look at you back in the day, at the Whale. I remember all those beautiful days, and man, that looks great, Chip. That looks great. You got it decorated nicely there, man.
I didn't do it. My wife did all the decorating. She's very good at that kind of stuff.
It's
She
just
put it all together, all the records, and there's too much stuff. I have so much memorabilia. I must give it away one of these days, because I have all these posters, all the show stuff from back in the 60s and 70s, the early Grateful Dead days, all the way down, like Zeppelin stuff, Jane's Addiction, Queen, Cheap Trick. I got the 4 cutouts of Cheap Trick from Dream Police. Got so much great stuff here. One day, I think somebody needs to have this for their house. Maybe I'll do a little sale one day, and almost like an eBay, where have the fans come over here and they pick out what they want to get.
Man, that would be way cool.
No, nobody's done that.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have people waiting for that one. No doubt. That's pretty cool. Now I gotta ask you, the elephant in the room here, everybody wants to hear about it. Party time, you do the video with Donnie, everybody sees you with Donnie. How did that come about? And doing the video, which is really cool. Do you play on the track, and what's the relationship with Donnie like now?
I did that as a favor. He came and sang on the last record, Brainwashed Generation. We did a song called Strangers in My Head. It was a fabulous track. Had Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick on the record. Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater played on that track. A really good record. Rock solid during this whole shutdown. And then he asked me, called me on the phone, and I was just getting ready to put that deal together with Cleopatra, putting a whole catalog underneath one umbrella. Everybody was hemorrhaging and suffering at the time financially. And Brian Pereira, the president down there, was kind enough to not only sign off on the deal, but promised to put all the records out in respect to the legacy of Enuff Z'Nuff. And then Donnie came to me, goes, "Hey, we did this record, I did the song. He helped get the deal with over Cleopatra. Would you be kind enough to come down and play bass on a track?" And I said, I would love to. I helped co-write that track. I wrote that riff with him years ago. Of course, I didn't get any credit on it, which is apropos. But that was a track that a long time ago we were working on, and then he finally finished it all up and did a wonderful job on the song. And I played bass on it, of course. He has engineer put it all together for him, and then he came to me afterwards and says, would you play bass? Now, would you play bass in the video? And I said, of course I would do that for you. And as a favor, I went down there, didn't ask for any kind of fee or anything. I just did it for all the years that we played together. Since he quit the band in 2013, it's been a tough struggle on the road for me fronting the group. Certainly a challenge, but I welcome it with open arms. We shot the video, and everything went really well there. And I think he put the single out now, and he's out there doing promotion on it, and we wish him nothing but well on that.
Yeah, that's great. It was great to see you guys together. Like I say, I mean, I've seen you so many times, in the clubs, the early days and stuff, and it's great memories, man. Your music always has cherished memories for a lot of people, and myself included.
Well, they say you can't put your arms around a memory, to quote Johnny Thunders, but in this case, you can. A lot of years, 29 years of touring around the country. And here we are going on our 38th year. He hasn't been with us for almost 10 years right now. And it's almost like the Genesis days when Peter Gabriel left the band and Phil Collins took over. He still gets to collect his royalties, and he gets publishing, and I push his product all the time. I'm on Dash Radio every day on my Monsters of Rock show, which is massive, 30 million subscribers to our network. Snoop Dogg on there, Be Real from Cypress Hill. So I still give tons of love. At the end of the day, luck is the preparation of opportunity. That's it. And we really wish nothing but good things to happen for him in the future on his solo career. He's got a fabulous sense of balance when it comes to writing songs, and he's got a beautiful voice. But Enuff Z'Nuff is what we focus on right now. The band as we are: Tori Stoff-Reagan, Tony Fennell, Daniel Benjamin Hill, and myself. And I'm certainly proud of where the steps that we've taken moving forward. And this will be our 4th record with Frontiers, and there'll be a 5th one that comes out in March of next year, my solo record, which is called Perfectly Imperfect. And I got Joe Hoekstra from Whitesnake playing guitar on it.
Oh,
I got Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick on it. I even have Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses playing on a song called Honolulu Boogie, an old Ian Hunter Mott the Hoople cover on the
very
record
cool.
too. So yeah, I've got a lot of music out there that's coming down the pipeline. I'm pretty excited about what moving forward with this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. You've always got great music for us, Chip. We appreciate it, man.
I
You
appreciate
mentioned Daniel Hill. Daniel Hill, of course, Dusty Hill, the late ZZ Top great. His son playing drums for you. How did that come about? I started seeing Dusty's son playing with you, man. That's just so good, and he's such a great drummer.
Well, that was the rumor has it that he's Dusty's illegitimate kid, but through trial and error, we found out that they weren't related. They just only by name. However, we love ZZ Top beyond belief. Big influence on my career. I just hail the band from the early days of the '60s all the way through. In fact, I went to go see ZZ Top last time they played through here. I caught one of the last shows here in Chicago. And they were charming beyond belief. What a great band! Yeah. But Daniel Hill, he's known for quite a few things. He does movies and soundtracks, TV shows, and commercials. A wonderful songwriter. He's not just the drummer of Enuff Z'Nuff. Plays keyboards, plays synthesizer, strings. He's really a multi-talented musician and a fabulous friend as well. I'm glad to have him be a part of Enuff Z'Nuff.
Yeah, it's a great band you got there for sure, all the way around. And Tony Fennell, of course, does music and soundtracks as well. Busy guy.
Yeah, Tony's known for in the early days he played with Edwin Starr, and then of course he took Midyear's place in a band called Ultravox, and for years he was the front man of that band. Did a fabulous job, and he's done tons of stuff for Disney as well. He's a wonderful songwriter and producer. And I love having him in the band. He's got the look of the world, got a great show, and he sings his ass off. That's the great thing about Enuff Z'Nuff. We have 3 lead singers in the band, actually 4. All these guys can sing lead. Just so happens that I co-wrote or wrote most of the songs that are in the set. So guilt by default, I guess. But wonderful talent. These guys all come from really good stock, good parents. And the common denominator is the legacy of Enuff Z'Nuff and moving forward and coming up with new songs and just trying to trip our own trigger.
No, yeah. And, vocals are such an important part of this band, the harmonies and everything, and they're on target, which is really great.
I appreciate that.
Now in the past, you've had like the holy trinity of band managers, in the history of the band.
Started off with Doc McGee.
Yeah.
Doc was the guy in the beginning, him and Bob Brigham. Those were the 2 guys in the very beginning of Enuff Z'Nuff. Doc was the guy that came up with the album cover, the peace sign, put us out on tour with Badlands, Jake Lee and Ray Gilly and all those cats. We had wonderful moments with Doc.
Unbelievable.
Doc didn't have time to manage the band because he had Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Scorpions.
Right? Yeah.
His plate was full. So he said, listen, I'm going to turn you guys on to who I think is arguably one of the greatest managers in rock history, Herbie Herbert. And we just lost Herbie last week. What a wonderful manager. He managed Europe, and Mr. Big,
yep,
Roxette,
Santana,
of course,
right?
Santana, Journey, Steve Miller. He had them all. Just a wonderful manager. I'm so lucky to call him not only my former manager, but one of my best friends in the world. Got along great. Never stopped believing in Enuff Z'Nuff. He told me personally, out of all the bands he's ever managed, we may have had the most talent. We were the most trouble for sure. He called us wink nuts behind closed doors. But boy, he loved the band beyond belief. And then when he retired, he just couldn't deal with all the extracurricular activities that we carried with us as a band, a lot of baggage. We ended up going with the great Bill Aucoin, who managed Kiss, and he was fabulous too. But he only managed the band for a year too. We were on the Poison tour with Warrant and Quiet Riot, in 2001, and he says after a couple of months in a row with us, he says, Chip, I can't wear this dress. It's very difficult. And obviously it was because the inmates were in the asylum back then. We're just trying to barely staying alive. So for me to be talking to you right now and have put out another 12 records since that day, it's a modern day miracle, bro. I may be one of the last of the Mohicans out there.
It is no doubt a miracle. I've heard stories not only from you from that time period, from all those guys, and wow, it's a wonder any of you guys are alive, much less doing music.
In the early days, we used to go out with Cheap Trick, and we go out with Def Leppard, and we don't get calls. They're all still our great friends, but they don't call us anymore because the rumor has it that if you get us in a room with you, we're going to take you away for a few days and we won't be able to find you. So I know that what we've done, we certainly left an indelible mark, but there's still more gas in the tank of Enuff Z'Nuff, my friend. A lot of good songs down the pipeline. Band is healthy right now. God bless us. I see some good things happening. This new record, which by the way was engineered by Rob Posen and Chris Steinman. We got a punk rock producer to get in there and man the board along with Chris Steinman, who did all the stuff with Ozzy and Kiss. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with anything the band's going to lay down. That's Beatles stuff. We hit a home run on this record right here. Now it's just a matter of putting all the parts together and going out there and trying to tour and navigate these unprecedented times that we're dealing with here in the United States and worldwide. Yeah. A lot of shows coming up. I can't tell you all about them, but a major tour to be announced in the next month or so with Enuff Z'Nuff. Maybe some of the rumors have got out because it's hard for me to keep a secret, but it'll be 4 bands. It'll be out for 7 or 8 weeks, and it'll be playing nothing but House of Blues and 1,500 seaters around the country. It won't be a club tour, and I'm looking forward to playing not only the Enuff Z'Nuff stuff, but I want to play these Beatles songs in this set as well.
Yeah, we want to hear them, man. Definitely.
Now I have Magical Mystery Tour in the set right now. We open the night with Magical Mystery Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Every single night in this last tour with Faster Pussycat. And now we'll be throwing Jet in the set because that's the first single on the Hardrock Nite record. But I think we're going to go through and try to do half and half of Enuff Z'Nuff and Beatles, or maybe perhaps you might come out and see us in the town and we're playing nothing but that Hardrock Nights at the Beatles Rock Show. I'm going to keep that secret until it's ready to come out.
Yeah, that sounds good to me for sure. Now you mentioned earlier that you're going to do a solo album, which you did a couple years back with Strange
Time.
Thank you.
Yeah, Strange Time came out in 2014 on Cleopatra.
Right.
And this is the follow-up to Strange Time. It's called Perfectly Imperfect. Produced once again by the punk rock producer Rob Posen, who's done some great stuff with not only Enuff Z'Nuff, but Johnny Rotten Jr., the Midnight Devils. I think we got a killer record right here, and it's basically a hard rock record. It's my heroin love letter to the new generation.
All right. Sounds great.
Got some good players on there, too, as I mentioned earlier. Guys from Whitesnake and Cher playing guitar. Cheap Trick, Dax Nielsen on there, and Adler from Guns N' Roses. 10-song record. It's going to slam you right in the face. It's really a good hard rock record. Not trying to write for radio either, my friend. Just writing songs about everyday experiences that we went through and sharing them with you brothers and sisters.
That's awesome, man. And Joel, one of our own. South Sider there, beautiful Joel Holstra. He's amazing, man.
Yeah, I love him in Trans-Siberian Orchestra as well. But after he played on 3 or 4 tracks on the new record, and after listening to it, my observation is I was a shortcut to thinking I should have got him on the whole record because his guitar playing is up there with the best of them. I put him up there with some of the greatest guys. He's right up there with Slash, who's one of my favorite guys. He's very respected in the music industry by a lot of different cats. So I'm glad that he laid his timber on this new record. And the Perfectly Imperfect solo record comes out in late March on Frontiers Records. The album's called Perfectly Imperfect.
Yeah, awesome. Now I want to ask you about Mike Portnoy, who happens to be your cousin, right?
Oh yeah, fantastic guy. I love him.
Yeah. Did you consider him on this Hardrock Nite record? Because I know he's just a gigantic Beatles fan. I mean, he's a huge fan like you are. And also, did you communicate with him in the early days when he was doing Dream Theater? Because his debut came out in '89 as well as Enuff Z'Nuff.
Yeah, well, we crossed paths in the early days when we were touring it over in Europe, and we would steal their girl fans, and there wasn't many of them out there. Okay, they didn't have a lot of trim following that band. So we spent some time there. But my wife is his cousin, Kate Catalina. So they're cousins, and it was her suggestion to say, "Well, why don't you call my cousin Mike Portnoy? I bet you he'd play on a track." So I sent him a couple songs, and he says, Chip, usually I get paid a Brinks truck full of money to play on records with people. He goes, but considering that you're my cousin now, it's on the arm. Send me the tracks. He loved what I played, loved what I sent him. He did a fabulous job. Brought out his old Ringo drum kit, the yellow mustard kit, and played. And one track, I think he was one take on that. What a fantastic drummer, and a great bass player and guitar player and a singer and a chef and a dog walker and a track star. The guy's a 7-trick pony. Look at all the bands he's playing in. Definitely a Hall of Famer in my mind. But I didn't, to answer your question, I didn't call him for the Beatle record because it was strictly just going to be Enuff Z'Nuff. I had the 4 guys. We wanted to try to navigate those waters as a band and do it ourselves. I could have got a lot of different guys to play on the record. Didn't need that. These are Beatles songs. They're already well written. It's just a matter of getting great performances, and I think we did that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Proudest moment for you. You've done so much in your career. You've done all kinds of different shows with all kinds of different people. Do you have one moment that really sticks out to you?
Having my daughter Tara. That's a big moment for me. I'll tell you that. But if you're talking about just the band, she's just an absolute beautiful person. I got lucky there because no warts, scars, and tattoos there. Just a good little girl who's smart and ambitious and beautiful. I'm just very happy with that. As far as accomplishments with Enuff Z'Nuff, too many to mention. All the tours that we've done with all the big bands out there that I mentioned earlier, those are great accomplishments. You can't say a good one bad thing about those moments. I certainly love going out and doing David Letterman a bunch of times. He really helped break the band worldwide around the country. Howard Stern, fantastic doing those shows. I've been on his shows a couple dozen times. Used to be a regular on there. He definitely was one of the prerequisites to Enuff Z'Nuff breaking the mainstream back in the late 80s, early 90s. And then all the tours, I got to say that great moments playing with the guys in Cheap Trick or going on stage with Def Leppard or Poison or living with Steven Adler and jamming with Guns N' Roses on their 20th anniversary, rehearsing with Izzy and Duff in the same hotel, and Steven in the same rehearsal spot and going through those iconic Guns N' Roses songs. Just wonderful moments. And I'll probably share them all when I finish my book that I've been writing for the last 5 years. Because there's just so much subject matter that's there. And I sound like I'm bragging right now, but I'm just proud of it. Those are wonderful moments and little indelible marks that have stuck with me. But as we move forward, I'm excited about every single record that we put out. The new Enuff Z'Nuff album, Hardrock Nite, that's my newest, most proudest moment. And trying to redo these Beatles songs. And we're not a cover band. This is not a tribute record. It's a reinterpretation of the Beatles through my rose-colored glasses. That's all it is. And I can't wait to get us out there on the road with Tori and Tony and Dan and our road manager, Mike Beasley, and play these songs for you brothers and sisters out there. I think you're going to be blown away. There won't be any synthesizers. Won't be guys underneath the stage playing with us. It'll just be 4 cats kicking ass like we always do every single night.
Yeah, it's awesome, man, and we'll love to see it for sure. You mentioned the book, and you don't know if you're going to finish it or when you're going to finish it.
No, it's a work in progress. At least I got all this stuff down. Most of it's on audio, and once it gets transferred over to paper and pen and paper, and then we'll see how we can work that. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there interested in hearing the story. When I'm finished with it, this won't just be a book; it'll be a movie too.
Oh, fantastic, man! Your team.
It'll be R-rated movie, by the way, too.
I would hope so.
I'm going to expose everything that's out there, because one thing I've learned in life is a liar, worst fear is a great memory. And I remember all little spots and all little bells and whistles that have happened with us. And anything I don't remember, I go to my road manager slash Rain Man old man, which is Bob Brigham, who used to manage us with Herbie Herbert and with Doc McGee, and he knows every single story that's out there, and he's really really articulate when it comes to storytelling, and I'll pillage those stories and I'll add them onto my book as well.
Oh man, sign me up already. I can't wait, man. It sounds great. Chip, I'll leave you with this. Like I say, you've done so much, you've seen so much, you got so many stories to tell. Is there any one thing that you still you've wanted to do for a long time that you haven't done yet?
Probably a lot of things, to be honest with you. I've made records with guys in the Smashing Pumpkins and Cheap Trick and Styx. Yep. Working with Mike Portnoy was a wonderful experience and a great little notch on my belt loop. I'd like to get Slash on a record one day. I really would.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic guitar player, charming beyond belief. I play with Steven, I play with Izzy, play with Duff. I'd like to get Slash to come down one day and maybe play on a track on an Enuff Z'Nuff album. That would be kind of nice. But there's so many artists out there I'd love to work with, and just you get one day at a time. And I don't want to confuse motion with progress. And my main priority is Enuff Z'Nuff.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
Keeping that legacy intact.
And you're getting ready to do some kind of big tour thing, and you're promoting this record. Hardrock Nite comes out November 12th. EnuffZ'Nuff.com. That's where we can find you, right? And all the socials.
Yep, catch us on Instagram, Twitter at Enuff Z'Nuff or at Chip Z'Nuff. And then, of course, you want to listen to me and hear my pipes. I don't know why you would want to, but I do play good songs on my radio station. I'm on Monsters of Rock on the Dash Radio Network, 6 days a week with Rudy Sarzo, Terry Stevens, Claudia Comedy, Harlan Hendrickson, Sammy Hager. It's real easy to get us. Download dashradio.com. You get the app for free. It doesn't cost nothing. It's not Sirius XM. Yeah. It's a free satellite radio subscription. You get to download the app. You go to Monster Rock channel 502, and we play nothing but hard rock and heavy metal 24/7, 365 days of the year. It's A through Z, the whole alphabet. If you're looking for satellite, if you're looking for terrestrial radio, forget about it, bro. We're the elephant in the room. It's nothing but every single band you can think of, from Queen, Cheap Trick, Mott the Hoople, Van Halen, Metallica, Megadeth, and then I go over to the new stuff too, with Rival Sons and Vintage Trouble and Dirty Honey and Greta Van Fleet. It's the whole alphabet, bro. You can't go wrong on my station. It's not the same songs over and over with a DJ that doesn't pick up the phone. We take requests. It's a celebration of life, and you're all invited.
Man, that is just awesome. Yeah, a mix of old and new is something you don't hear everywhere, and that's pretty spectacular, man. Definitely.
Thanks, bro. Thank
you.
We
appreciate you, Chip.
Appreciate you. Appreciate Naperville. Maybe they'll call us one day for another show. That'd be a lot of fun to come out there and play.
I'm gonna work.
Yeah, let's come out there. Let's do the Beatles rock show in Naperville. That'd be a great idea.
That would be great.
The fans would love it out there. Yeah, and I love Naperville. They got great wine. They got great women, good food. It's you can't go wrong right there.
Yeah. I guess that's why I haven't moved in a while.
I don't blame you. By the way, I like your library behind you, all the CDs and books. It's beautiful.
Thank you, man, and thank you for providing us with this music, and for so many years. No doubt about it. And I want to thank you. I'm a professional photographer. You got my photo on the front page of the website, and you keep the tagline on there. I so appreciate that. So many times, being a photographer, like a musician, you see your stuff out there and it's not credited properly or anything like that. You've done that, and I so appreciate it. I so appreciate you using my image and to promote this band. And I'm proud.
Oh, of course. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the photographers in the world, along with our nurses, our doctors, our military, all the police, the firemen, the local drug dealers across the street from 7-Eleven. You guys are all important. I got to be honest with you at the end of the day. And nothing but love for you cats out there. So listen, bro, stay safe. God bless you and your family. Hardrock Nite out in a week or so. Everybody go get a chance. Check it out. You love the Beatles. You like hard rock. You'll hail this record.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Chip. God bless.
Thanks, bro. God bless you. Peace.
All right. Bye bye.